Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Section 1, Lesson 4, all about letters, specifically letters and their sounds, Makharij-ul-Huroof. And in this lesson, we're going to cover the next 7 letters, which is going to be saad through fa, saad, dad, ta, ba, ain, ghain, fa, those 7 letters. So let's get into it. On the agenda today, we're going to do a quick review of the previous lesson. I'm going to ask you to do the warm-ups as usual. And in the instructions, again, for each letter, if you've been following the previous two, for each letter, I'm going to tell you where the sound comes from, the makhraj of the letter, the characteristic of each letter, what similarity the letter in the Arabic language has to any similarity in the English language, and detailed instructions on pronouncing each letter. I'll tell you whether a letter is a vowel or a consonant, and wherever I can reference the warm-ups. And whichever warm-up is going to help you pronounce that letter, I'm going to reference that warm-up in the warm-up number. And if you don't know what I mean by the warm-ups, go watch the warm-ups video. It's part of this YouTube channel. Then I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to do the exercise/recitation part of this lesson. You are going to need someone for this one, so I will give you a little detail on that. And finally, wherever I can reference the self-test and whatever sections of this lesson are going to be on the self-test, I'm going to include that as part of the instruction. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, review of the previous lesson. What did we learn last time? We learned letters dal, dhal, ra, za, sin, shin. Those 6 letters. So today I'm just going to give you a quick review of what we learned last time. The first letter that we learned last time was the letter dal. It is close to the letter D, but it isn't quite. It is characterized by your tongue meeting the front top of your teeth, but not hitting the roof of your mouth. So it's not a dal, but it is a dal. Go watch the previous lesson again if you need details on that, and that's a consonant. The letter zal is a very similar letter. It is characterized by your tongue, which is the next letter, by the way. This is we're done with dal, now we're going over zal. The letter zal, the one that you see on your left, is characterized by your tongue being in the middle of your teeth, basically coming slightly out of your mouth, and you almost biting down on your tongue in between your front teeth and saying the z letter zal, and this is included in the warm-up. And this letter is a consonant, and both these letters are tongue letters. And basically all the letters in the previous lesson were tongue letters anyway. There was a slight mistake. I said that the sin was a throat letter. Sin is not a throat letter, it's a tongue letter. Moving on. Next 2 letters that we learned were the ra and the za. Now, the ra I spent a lot of time on. The reason I spent a lot of time on it is because this is a difficult letter for English speakers to pronounce. The letter ra, the letter ra. You see how I'm having difficulty because the letter is ra, and because it was connected to an R, letter ra, it was difficult to do. So this is the letter is ra. It is characterized by repetition and a slight vibration of the tongue. Your tongue must vibrate a little bit, but that vibration characteristic of this letter should not be exaggerated. It is a characteristic to be avoided. In the English language, the letter R is pretty close to the letter ra, but it isn't quite. The letter R, its repetition, R, Romeo, room, ring, rug, all these letters, the letter R's vibration comes from the voice box. It doesn't come from the tongue. Basically, it has almost no repetition at the tongue. But the letter Ra has a slight vibration at the tongue. It's pronounced like this. Ra, Ra, Ra. And what I wanted you to do as part of the previous lesson was I wanted you to pronounce the letter like this. Ra. The reason I wanted you to exaggerate is because you have to exaggerate before you can do it correctly, before you can do it with more subtlety, which is just ra. So that was the letter ra. It is a tongue letter and it is a consonant. Next is the letter za that you see on the left-hand side with the dot on it. This letter is another tongue letter. It is a consonant and it's characterized by your tongue remaining behind your teeth and you making a buzzing sound just like the letter Z. So zebra, zoo, Z. All these Z sound, it's very close to the letter Z, in the Arabic language, and this is a consonant, and that is about it for that one. Next, we learned the two letters we learned were Sin and the letter Shin. The letter Sin and the letter Shin are both tongue letters, and the letter Sin is characterized by your tongue remaining behind your teeth and you making a slight whistling sound. Sin. Sin. It is very close to the letter S in the English language. So, simple, Sam, soap, same. That S sound, the sound, is very similar to the letter Sin. There isn't much difference between the letter Sin and the letter S. It's a consonant. Next is the letter Shin. The letter Shin is very similar to the letter Sin, but the similarity to the English language that we have in the letter Shin is that it is the SH sound in the following words. Ship, sheep, shop, shame, shed, shoe. The letter sh. The letter is Shin. Sheen, sh, Shin. And that letter is another consonant. So that is a quick review of the previous lesson. Let's get into the warm-ups. If you don't know what the warm-ups are, please watch the warm-ups video and please don't skip. The warm-ups video is kind of lengthy, 27 minutes. But if you've been doing your warm-ups, you should have the warm-ups down to less than a couple minutes by now. You should be doing them in less than a minute or two, because you've been doing them so much that you should be starting to memorize all those warm-ups. Please don't skip. Okay. In today's lesson, the first letter, or the first of the 7 letters that we're going to cover today, is the letter saad. Excuse me. Just plugging in my wire for some extra battery, just in case I need it. The letter is saad. Again, the letter is saad. It is pronounced from the tongue. This letter is similar to the letter Sin in the Arabic language. The letter Sin, but a different characteristic of this letter is that it is characterized by its thickness and the throat is involved. So it's pronounced like this. The letter is saad. 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 And you have to differentiate the Sin from the letter saad. The letter Sin that we learned in the previous lesson from the letter saad. Now, it has no similarity in the English language. And this is another one of those difficult, very throaty letters that you have to get used to. It doesn't have a similarity in the English language because Sin is close to S, but there is no similarity in the English language to the saad. The letter is saad. Saad. Now remember, warm-up number 10, pretty much all, with the exception of the last letter in today's lesson, are going to be related to warm-up number 10, which is the gargle and spit, or the Chewbacca warm-up. And in that warm-up, what I have you do, which is warm-up number 10, what I have you do is have you get a glass of water and put it in your throat and start to gargle as if you're sick and you need to do saltwater gargles. You go, oh. I need you to find that deep part of your throat. And basically you have to force this letter out from the throat like this. So the letter is saad. 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 That throaty sound, that has to be made, and that's going to be part of your self-test in order to make sure that the pronunciation is correct. This is the letter saad, and this letter is a consonant. Another thing that I would like to mention as part of this lesson is that all these letters and the different way I'm describing the way they're pronounced, the way they're said, it's not the only way to explain it. The reason I'm using these explanations is because these explanations have helped me personally, and this is how I did it. There are other explanations available online. You can watch YouTube videos, you can watch, you can just Google it. But what I found is they're a little too complicated in the sense that they go into very, very specific details on which part of your tongue to place where and what section of your mouth. That's good, because that detail, it might help someone. But honestly, these details, the ones that I'm explaining to you, those are the ones that helped me the most. So I'm just gonna give you what helped me the most. So, but please feel free to use the other descriptions. Those are going to help you as well. Next is the letter bod. The letter is bod. One more time. The letter is bod. It is pronounced from the tongue. And this letter is similar to another Arabic letter that we learned previously. The letter is dal. But the letter dal is characterized by flatness, but the letter bod, this letter, the letter you see in front of you, is characterized by its thickness, and the throat is involved. So the previous letter that we learned was dal. This is the letter bod. 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 Dal versus bod. And another way to differentiate the sound of the dal from the bod is like this. And I will first say the letter, the sound of the letter dal, and then I will say the sound of the letter bod, and I want you to hear the difference. Da. Bo. First was dal, and the second one was bod. So one more time. Da. Bo. Da. Bo. Da. Bo. Da. Bo. Da. Bo. Da. Bo. And this is the first time. Oh, I hate this pop-up. And this is the first time that I'm introducing you to the warm-up that we do as part of every exercise, which is warm-up number 1 and warm-up number 17, which is the pout and smile warm-up, which is this. This letter, dal, is pronounced with, and you can try to pronounce it with the smile, you can do it like this. Dal, dal, dal. But the letter bod is pronounced with a pout. Bod. 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 And the throat is involved. So dal, bod. Dal, bod. Dal, bod. And the sounds are like this. Da, bo. Da, bo. Da, bo. I hope the difference is becoming clear. And this is why I have that warm-up as part of every warm-up. I have you do at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video. Movement of the lips is important. And when you get this movement down, you will start to pronounce these letters correctly. And another thing to note is that because this is the first time I'm referencing the first warm-up, which is warm-up number 1, which is pout and smile warm-up, and I will continue to reference it. This is not the first nor the last time that you're going to use it. You're going to use this warm-up, the pout and smile warm-up, again and again and again. The differentiating between heavy letters and light letters, you will use it. So I'm just trying to make that point. And it has no similarity in the English language, the letter bod, but it's the gargle and spit, which is warm-up number 10, is going to help you with this warm-up. But another, which is, finding that deep part of your throat and saying bod, 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 bod. Find that deep part of your throat and say this letter like this and pout your lips when saying it. Bod, 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 bod. Find that Chewbacca spot, and say it like this, bod. This is why the warm-up number 10, I keep referencing it again and again. Warm-up number 10 will help you find that deep part of your throat, specifically you, the English speaker. That deep part of your throat is not pronounced in any English letter, none whatsoever. You don't find that anywhere, which is why the warm-up number 10 is important. And another reason that I keep referring to the warm-ups, the smile and pout warm-up, the smile and pout warm-up will help you pronounce this letter as well. And this letter is a consonant, the letter bod. Moving on. The next letter is the letter bo. Bo. The letter is bo. Bo. This letter is pronounced from the tongue and it is similar to the ta. Now notice I have the letter taa, or the ta, with a small t, but the letter ba is with a caps T. The reason is that even though the ta is similar to the letter ba is characterized by its thickness. Again, throat involvement, but the letter ta is not. The letter ta does not involve the throat. But the letter ba, there is force coming from the throat. It's like this. Ba, 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 ba. That's the letter tha. We have to differentiate the sound of the letter ta from the letter ba. So first I'm going to pronounce it with a ba because that's the way I have written in my PowerPoint presentation over here. First I'm going to differentiate, I'm going to pronounce the letter ba, and then I'm going to pronounce it the sound of the letter ta. So it's ba, ta, 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 ba, ta. So again, the first one is ba, which is the one the letter we're looking at, and the next one is letter ta. Now another instance of this is the smile and pout warm up. Are you starting to see my lip movement? Ba, that's the letter we're looking at. Ta, ba, ta, ba, ta. Pout and smile, pout and smile. That is why that warm up is so important, and it's at the beginning and at the end of every warm-up. So this is another letter has no similarity in the English language, sorry. But that gargle and spit warm-up, the Chewbacca warm-up, which is warm-up number 10, is again going to help you find that deep part of your throat. Oh, bo, bo, oh, bo, oh, bo. It's going to help you find that deep part of your throat that is going to help you pronounce this letter, which is the letter bo, and this letter is a consonant. Moving on. The next letter is the letter vo. The letter vo. The letter vo. This letter is pronounced from the tongue, and this is similar to the letter dal, and we covered the letter dal in a previous lesson, didn't we? Dal. We covered the letter dal in a previous lesson. But this letter, the letter vo, is characterized by its thickness and a throat involvement. So it sounds like this. Vo, vo, vo. Another way to differentiate between the sound of the letter dal and the letter vo is like this. And I will pronounce first the letter dal and then the letter vo again and again so that you can start to hear the difference. It's like this. Dal, vo, 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 dal, vo. I hope you're starting to see the difference, and the reason the transliteration of this letter, the letter Z, is capital is because it's thickened because of its throat involvement. And this letter, similar to the letter dal, the tongue comes out slightly between your teeth, and you say the Z sound. The Z sound, there is a Z sound in this, so it sounds like this: wa, wa, wa. But pout your lips slightly, wa, and involve your throat, wa. So the differentiation again between the dal and the wa, you will start to see my lips moving, right? Big smile, dal, pout, wa, dal, wa, dal, wa, dal, wa. This is the letter wa. And I hope you're starting to see, or you're starting to hear the differences between this and this. This and this. Why it's important to exercise your lips, exercise your throat again and again to make sure you're starting to pronounce this. And again, gargle and spit, the Chewbacca warm-up, is going to help you exercise that part of your throat. And the letter wa, the letter wa is a consonant. Moving on. Another throaty letter. The letter is ain. 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 This letter is pronounced from the throat. It is similar to the Hamza, but it is characterized by its thickness and throat involvement. So the Hamza, if you remember what the Hamza was, it was a glottal stop. It's in lesson number 2, section 1, lesson 2, in which I cover the Hamza. The Hamza is a glottal stop. It's like this. It's a Hamza. It's a A. It's a A. A. That's a Hamza. But this is not a Hamza. This is a A. 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 A versus A. A versus A. Are you starting to differentiate the Hamza from the Ain? So, again, the Chewbacca warm-up, the gargle and spit warm-up, and this is another one that is going to help you find that deep part of your throat. And I'm going to differentiate again and again. First, I'm going to say the Hamza, the sound of the letter Hamza, and then I'm going to sound of the letter Ain, and I want you to hear the difference. I'm going to say it multiple times. So first is going to be Hamza, then it's going to be Ain. It sounds like this. A. A. That was one. A. A. That was two. A versus A. A versus A. A versus A. A versus A. 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 This is the letter Ain. This is the letter Ain. It's not the letter Ain. It's not A. It's not the letter Ain. This is the letter Ain. Throat is involved. Deep thickness. No similarity in the English language. The gargle and spit or the Chewbacca warm-up number 10 is going to help you pronounce this letter. And this letter is a consonant. Next letter is the letter Ghain. The letter is Ghain. Ghain. This letter is again another letter that is pronounced from the throat. It is characterized by a very deep, almost gargling sound. And literally you can, if you gargle, you'll hear it. Ghain. 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 Gha. 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 It has no similarity in the English language. I decided not to put the GH sound in this letter. The GH sound, which is ghost, golf, ghost would be a prime example of the GH sound. The reason I decided not to put the GH sound in this letter and the similarity to the English language, because I could not bring myself to think of it as similar, because it isn't. It's G. That's G. That's not this letter. That's not this letter at all. This is Ghain, Ghain, Ghain. GH might be close, but I think it's far enough that I decided not to put it here. So the letter is Ghain. One more time. Ghain. Ghain. Could be close to GH, but I don't think so. I'm not going to put that on the self-test because I don't think GH is close. But it has no similarity in the English language. And the gargle and spit Chewbacca warm-up, which is warm-up number 10, is going to help you with this letter, which is the letter Ghain. 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 And the letter Ghain again is a consonant. Next is the letter Th. The letter is Th. Th. This letter is pronounced from the lip. Notice that I didn't make it plural. It's singular. It's a lip. The reason this letter is pronounced from a single lip is because if you're watching the video, it's like this. Fa. 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 The lower lip comes in contact on your top front teeth, and you say fa. 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 Characterized by the edge of the front teeth meeting the lower lip, the upper teeth, the front of the upper teeth meeting the lower lip. That's the characteristic of this letter. And it's very similar to the letter F. Not similar, I'm going to say pretty much identical. Fox, fix, feet, phone, fun, fa. The letter F in the English language, it's almost identical to the Arabic letter fa. It has no difference. And this is a letter that is a consonant. Moving on. The exercise for this video, you will not be able to do this exercise yourself. You're going to need to find someone who knows how to pronounce the Arabic letters and let them hear you pronouncing these letters. And the letters that you've learned, you have to have them corrected. And the 7 letters that you've learned in this lesson are particularly difficult because 6 of them are very throaty letters. So find someone who knows how to pronounce Arabic and let them hear you pronounce the letters you've learned in this lesson, and have them corrected. Another point to note, that not all Arabic speakers are created equal. Just because someone is an Arab does not mean they know how to pronounce Arabic. That's why as part of these exercises I keep emphasizing you need to find someone who knows how to pronounce Arabic. Not even necessarily someone who knows how to speak Arabic. They don't have to speak Arabic in order to be able to pronounce it correctly. And plenty of Arabs, I'll give you an honest assessment, plenty of Arabs pronounce the Quran incorrectly. Just because they're Arabs doesn't mean they know how to pronounce the Quranic Arabic correctly. So find someone who knows how to pronounce Arabic, specifically Quranic Arabic, correctly. Let them hear you pronounce the letters. And whatever letters you've learned in this lesson, have them corrected. And do this again and again. And that is how you're going to get better at pronouncing these letters. And the second exercise, which I'm going to upload in a different video, I'm going to do that exercise myself along with you. You can do it yourself. You can open up the open up the Mus'haf that you learned in the lesson today, and open up to any random page in the Mus'haf and try to find the letters that you learned that you learned today in the lesson, and find them in the Mus'haf and try to pronounce them. So find a random letter, find a random page, and find one of the random letters, one of the 7 letters that you learned today, and see if you can try to pronounce it directly in the Mus'haf. In conclusion, what did we learn today? We learned saad, bod, ta, wa, ain, ghain, and fa. Saad, bod, ta, wa, ain, ghain, fa. Those 7 letters, they're makharij, where the sound comes from, if they're consonants or vowels. Pretty much all of them were consonants. What their similarities are in the English language, and how you can start to exercise the parts of your mouth and vocal cords to start to pronounce those letters. And the next lesson, which is going to be the letters from the letters qaf to the letter ya, qaf to ya, which is going to conclude all 28 letters and their pronunciations and their makharij. It's not going to conclude this section. I'm going to include one lesson after that in that section, but or maybe even 2, I'm not sure yet. But that lesson is going to conclude all about the pronunciation of all the letters. So notice the ya is the last letter, and the next lesson is going to be going to include that last letter. In the self-test, I will place a lot of emphasis on the pronunciation, just like I've been placing a lot of emphasis in the previous lesson, in the previous self-test. The self-test for this lesson, I'm going to place a lot of emphasis on pronunciation. So be ready for that. And finally, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.